Hello my royal lovies and welcome back to another royal reviewer video. Today I bring you some happy news. I'm happy to share that Queen Camilla has been spotted doing her Christmas shopping, no less. So as we know, Queen Camilla actually has been poorly with a chest infection which led to or kind of turned into pneumonia, which I can relate to because exactly the same thing happened to me. I think there are some incredibly nasty chest infection bugs going around that are actually very, very strong. Normally people's immune systems can deal with it, but I personally think there's one going around that is particularly nasty. It took me out and it took Queen Camilla out, although I ended up in hospital. But I'm sure Queen Camilla got excellent care and recuperation at home. But anyway, she's back. She obviously missed a series of key events over the past few weeks, although she did make an appearance at some, so she kind of did what she could do, which I think is the right thing to do. Although many people were urging her at the time, royal watchers, and I'm sure palace aides as well, to not return to duty until you're ready. But of course, Queen Camilla, being dutiful and wanting to support her husband, the king, probably returned a little bit earlier than what she should have done. However, she has been spotted today, the 18th of December 2024, out and about doing her Christmas shopping at the luxury department store Fortnum and Mason. So obviously she did this at a public time. I think gone are the days where, shopping centres or, places like Harrods would be closed down because of a visiting royal. I mean, I don't know about William and Catherine. Maybe, Harrods might close down for William and Catherine, and I'm sure they would for Queen Camilla if she asked. However, she's not one to want to make a fuss, so I don't really think it's her style to make a request to close down a whole store or indeed visit out of hours. The late Princess Diana, or rather Diana, Princess of Wales, she used to visit out of hours and they would sort of stay open a little bit later for her to do her shopping, whether it was Christmas or otherwise. Anyway, Camilla didn't want to make a fuss. She's very non-fussy, if you like. No frills. She's a no-frills queen, which I think I appreciate. I really, really do. So she was milling around with the general public, out and about with all those bugs and germs again. I mean, I myself am trying to keep away from bugs and germs, still having a low immune system after coming out of hospital. It'll take a while to get back up again, and probably the same for Her Late Majesty. But anyway, I'm sure she was keeping herself safe. So she was browsing. Onlookers did double takes. I think I would do a double take as well if suddenly I looked up from doing a bit of Christmas shopping, and there was Queen Camilla with her unmistakable coiffed hair, all gorgeous and flowing. So they caught a look of a woman browsing the tins of festive teas in the iconic shop, only to find out that it was indeed King Charles's wife, Queen Camilla. So what did Queen Camilla buy? Was she buying some elaborate tea, cakes, biscuits? She settled on cinnamon and orange black tea. So she was surrounded by a number of palace aides and no doubt her team of bodyguards as well, her royal protection officers, and she was looking through the £13.95 tins for some time. Now, in terms of price point, that is probably quite pricey. Fortnum and Mason's is quite a pricey store for the average Briton, for the average UK citizen. £13.95 would be quite a lot to pay for a tea, caddy, or a coffee pot or something of that nature. However, in the great scheme of things, in terms of what wealth Queen Camilla has at her disposal, £13.95 is not a lot of money. So one does wonder who she's buying these things for? Is it her own family, the rest of the royal family? Probably both. So I think we can safely say that on Christmas Eve, which is when the royals traditionally open their presents, they normally exchange gifts, the majority of their gifts on Christmas Eve. There has been a long-standing sort of thought that they give jokey presents, things that aren't too expensive, maybe things that have been handmade. I know the Princess of Wales gave, I'm talking about Catherine, the Princess of Wales, not Diana, former Princess of Wales. Catherine did give the Queen a jar of homemade chutney. So, those sorts of gifts go down well. But definitely Fortnum and Mason gifts are going to be given out to the royals. Then on Christmas Day, they do exchange maybe one simple gift. Anyway, she almost went unnoticed while other shoppers milled about making their own festive purchases. Imagine being in there and not realising that you have been in there with Queen Camilla, and then you read about this afterwards and you think, oh, that lady that I saw there was Queen Camilla. Anyway, she was spotted by a man who did recognise her, who was in the store buying the same tea for his wife at around 2:30 p.m. So he looked across the table and was taken aback to see the Queen standing opposite him with the same tin. So yes, this visit by Queen Camilla has carried on a long-standing tradition by the royal family shopping at the store, which holds a royal warrant at Christmas. And I can just looking at the photos now of Queen Camilla, she's dressed kind of casually for her. I mean, she's not in her country attire, but she's not also dressed up to the nines either. She's not dripping in royal jewels. But it is unmistakably the figure and hairstyle of Queen Camilla. So according to the website, Her Late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II continued the family tradition of doing Christmas shopping in store, which had to be arranged months in advance. Yes, things I think are very different in today's world and under King Charles's reign. Now, a lot has been said about protocol and tradition, and King Charles is a traditionalist, but he is also a modernist as well. You have seen elements of tradition and modernity in his life's work as Prince of Wales, as he was all the way through to his reign today. And we are seeing subtle changes. We are seeing things that King Charles is doing, that King Charles sees as acceptable, that were not the case under his mother's reign. So I think things are, in certain ways, becoming a little bit more casual, a little bit less formal. I think the protocols and the kind of unwritten rules, because there is no actual rule book, there is no royal etiquette book. Of course, the royals do follow tradition and good etiquette, good manners, but there isn't a written down rule. So when often publications or royal commentators get a bee in their bonnet and get their knickers in a complete twist saying that royal protocol has been broken, normally there isn't really an actual protocol that's written down. It's just something that's, that we've seen them do time and time again, and therefore it becomes almost a custom. It becomes almost tradition in that sense. But there is no reason why things can't be done differently at any point. And I think we are seeing some differences coming out under King Charles's reign. Anyway, Her Late Majesty favoured giving tea as gifts as well. And the website says, the list of provisions provided for her and her mother, of course, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, to give as presents reveal a shared practical bent of mind, with breakfast trays, breakfast sets, garden furniture and hostess trolleys being particularly popular. And of course you can go on the Fortnum and Mason website and you can browse yourself and you can, you can get the same kind of tea and stuff that Queen Camilla has been buying and that Queen Elizabeth and the late Queen Elizabeth and the late Queen Mother were also buying. Anyway, the man who spotted Queen Camilla was from Romford in Essex and said it was great to be that close to her, and I never imagined I'd be asking after the same tea as the Queen. I just went to ask the attendant how much the tin of tea was, and then I noticed she was standing right opposite me. I could hardly believe it. It was a lucky chance. I'd gone into London for a rare trip for my birthday. It was funny because I'd never have thought I'd be in touching distance of the Queen. There must have been just over a metre between us. She had about 4 members of security with her, but they didn't warn me off when I approached the table. That was a really good feeling. I wonder what Queen Camilla smells like. I don't mean that in jest. I don't mean that in any kind of way, really. I'd wonder what she smells like. I always wondered that about Her Late Majesty as well. I don't know. I'm imagining she has a kind of floral aroma from... I'm imagining that she has a kind of floral perfume. I don't know why I'm getting that, but sort of floral perfume mixed with a little bit of dog. And I don't mean that disparagingly. I really, really don't. But she loves her dogs and horses. And so I imagine she's got a bit of a horse, doggy, floral scent about her. Let me know what you think Queen Camilla smells like. Anyway, it comes after the day that she was spotted enjoying a night out at the theatre with her family to watch Operation Mincemeat. So I think she's enjoying her newly renewed health, which I think is particularly good to enjoy this time of year, because if you've been in, as I know, and you've been keeping away from the bugs and the germs, to get out and about is a real tonic. And there are things that I'm not doing this year that I would normally do. I'm trying to stay away from big shopping centres, from really busy pubs and that kind of thing, just until I'm better. So if the Queen is feeling good enough to go to these sorts of shops and browse with everyone else, then that can only be a good thing. Anyway, the Queen did not commandeer the state Bentley for the private family gathering, however, instead opted for a Ford Transit minibus. Wow. Well, there you go. If you want low-key, get yourself a Ford Transit minibus. Nothing says royal like the state Bentley. You're going to turn heads in the state Bentley. Although there are lots of really posh cars in London, so, you know. Anyway, the popular upmarket store Fortnum and Mason is located on London's Piccadilly, next to the Ritz Hotel. I would love to do afternoon tea at the Ritz. The Ritz Hotel, if you're watching this video, please, if you want to do a collaboration, I would love afternoon tea and a stay. And I ain't too proud to beg. No, I ain't too proud to beg. Absolutely not. Anyway, it is one of 7 brands to be given Queen Camilla's seal of approval. She's known to enjoy a little tipple and is president of Wine GB, the National Association for the English and Welsh wine industry. I think the British wine industry is very underrated. Everyone talks about Italy and France. I think Britain has much to offer, and I think that our wines are far superior, and our cheddar as well. Everyone goes on about the French cheeses. Nothing wrong with a good bit of English cheddar. Anyway, she has also chosen to bestow 2 wine businesses with her warrant. One is Camel Valley in Cornwall, a family-owned business that last year provided wine for the lavish state banquet at Buckingham Palace for South Korea's President and First Lady. The other is Corney and Barrow in London. Do feel free to check these out at your leisure, which was founded in 1780 and is one of the UK's oldest wine merchants. I'm sure both of those wine companies produce far better than what Meghan ever could, if ever her wine ambitions ever get out of the ground. I don't think they will, my lovies. Anyway, other recipients of warrants from Queen Camilla include the London chemist D.R. Harris and Co., the floral alchemist Shane Connolly and Co., and the stationery suppliers Smithson. So let's jump ahead a little bit to Christmas Day. As we know, Christmas is being held at Sandringham. King Charles, as I said, likes to follow traditions and is staying with the traditional family Christmas at Sandringham, although years gone by, Windsor Castle also used to be used, but Sandringham, I think, is the best known royal residence for Christmas. And of course, we all love the walk from Sandringham on Christmas morning down to the church, where we get to see the royals and who is in attendance. So we believe that around about 45 family members will be included at dinner, including Queen Camilla's family, for the first time, really. So the big day usually kicks off with the monarch dining on a personal breakfast before the whole family gets together, as I said, to head over to St Mary Magdalene Church for the 11 a.m. service. And I do hope the cameras this year cut to the royals walking, because I remember one year they didn't. They were showing some other programme and they refused to switch over to the royals walking, and I was very annoyed. Anyway, on Christmas Day, it looks very similar to many families up and down the land, filled with food at every turn. The royals will dine on delicacies such as ox tongue and stuffed boar's head, but the classic Christmas dinner is also observed as the royals eat roast turkey with all the trimmings. Then there's much fun to be had during the unboxing of a Royal Fortnum and Mason's Christmas hamper containing organic jams, chutneys and other tasty treats. After lunch and a spot of more fun, it's time for the family to watch the monarch, King Charles's Christmas message on television, followed by a supper of roasted ham and boar's head. That reminds me, I need to record my Christmas message, which will go out on Christmas Day, but I am not going to clash with the King. I will set mine to go live on the channel about 5 minutes after the King has finished. So do look out for that. So finishing off the day is a Christmas boogie, a little Christmas party where they let down their hair and they kick off those shoes and have a little dancey poos, as the palace's staff will meet for an evening disco, drinks for the rest of the night. Oh my goodness. Now, one thing that has come out in recent days is Prince Andrew and Sarah are not attending Christmas. They were invited and they have declined now. So I think they had accepted originally, and then because of all of this furore over the Chinese businessman, during obviously Prince Andrew's association with him, he's turned out to be some kind of spy. But of course the association was back when Andrew was representing the country as trade envoy. So therefore, he did have to meet with lots of people, and if years later they turn out to be unsavory characters, then, it is what it is. Anyway, he has pulled out of Christmas. I think he wanted to save King Charles any further embarrassment, I should say. So rather than the King having to say, Andrew, don't come, I don't think the King would do that, especially if an invitation has already been sent out. But I think it was kind of, Andrew had a choice. He could either go and sort of, face it, or he could pull out and withdraw quietly for this year. Now, next year, I imagine they'll be back, unless there is anything else that comes out. Now, I will probably talk about Prince Andrew in a separate video. I'd like to do a series basically talking, quite frankly, about things factually as they are, because I think a lot of people put I suppose personal thoughts, personal morals into their perceptions of what's been going on. And I would love to do a series of hard talk where I just say it as it is. There's no pretense, there's no trying to play to one crowd or another. It's literally just, this is what it is, whether you like it or not, so to speak. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video here. Please, let me know what you think about Queen Camilla doing her shopping. And I do wonder if she went to any other shops Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media. And of course, do hit that bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So from me, mwah, to you all my lovies, and goodbye.